Hello students, this is Dr. Vidya Patil. I am the English teacher for the first SEM English language course. In the previous videos, we have been discussing about what is letter writing, and we have also seen how to write an informal letter. In today's video, we will be discussing about how to write a formal letter. Formal letters can be of many types. Generally, in the professional field, there are different reasons which you will come across for writing formal letters. There are certain rules which need to be followed when you are writing a formal letter. So, what are these rules and how to format your formal letter? This is what we'll be learning in today's video. Formal letters are also called as business letters or professional letters. These letters generally follow certain strict rules and have a specific format. Most of the formal letters can be written for various different reasons. Some are as follows. You may write a formal letter in order to express your concern in a professional setup. You can also write in order to order for something. Sometimes you can provide official information through a formal letter. Formal letters are also used to apply for employment. Many times, formal letters are used to write to the editor of a newspaper regarding a particular issue. So, there are a wide variety of reasons for which you can write a formal letter. Mostly, formal letters are written for professional reasons. There are different types of formal letters. This depends basically on the purpose for which the letter has been written. Let us try and understand some of the commonly used types of formal letters. Sales letters. Sales letters are formal letters which usually aim to promote a company's product or services. So, in a sales letter, a company will usually explain about their product or the services which they are offering. An acceptance letter. This is a type of formal letter where you write a letter in order to accept an honor or an award which you have received, or you accept a resignation from somebody, someone who is junior to you, or it can be for some other formal reason. Inquiry letter. An inquiry letter is usually written when you want to inquire or find out or get some more information from about a particular product or a service. Apology letter. This is another kind of a formal letter which is usually written when you want to make a formal apology for a mistake which you have made. Making a claim letter. If you are generally unsatisfied with a particular product or a service, then you can write a letter and make a claim. Making a claim letter. Generally, when we are unsatisfied with a particular product or service, we can write a claim letter to the manufacturer or the company asking for claims. A cover letter is another kind of a formal letter which is usually written to hiring managers by those who are looking at prospective job seekers. So such candidates usually write a covering letter and enclose their resume along with it. So in this way, we can find a variety of formal letters which are written for different reasons. But again, as I have told you earlier, most of these letters, that is the formal letters, are written for professional reasons only. Let us now try to understand the format of a formal letter. In order to write an appropriate formal letter, we need to include various elements throughout the letter. Let us first begin by writing our own name and contact information. That is, we need to write the sender's address. Now, when we are writing the sender's address, we begin with the upper left-hand corner of the letter. So, if I am writing the letter, then I will write my name and address on the left-hand corner right at the beginning of the letter. The letter or the address, which is usually included in the letterhead, but if you are not using a letterhead, then it needs to be written at the left-hand corner, right above the date which you are going to write. The next element is the date. Just under the sender's address, we need to write the date. Again, this should be in the upper left-hand corner. There needs to be a space or a line between the sender's address and the date. So, whenever we are giving our contact information, we need to leave one space or one line after that and then write the date. The date should be the exact date on which you are writing the letter. The next element is the recipient's name and contact information. So soon after the date, we need to include the recipient's name along with their designation. Before the designation, we need to write their official title, such as Mr., Mrs., Miss, so depending on whom you are writing to. After this, we need to include their designation and the address of their company. So, the recipient's name and contact information is the next important element in the formal letter. The subject line is often an important part of the formal letter, which we do not find in an informal letter. This subject line is usually written exactly below the salutation. The subject line should tell the recipient as to what the letter is about. So, the purpose of this subject line is to state the topic or the main reason for which the letter has been written. The next important element is writing a salutation. Now, when we are writing a salutation, we are actually greeting the person we are addressing the letter to. So, we need to be careful that in a formal letter, we do not sound too conversational or too casual in our tone. It is preferable if we can use sir or madam in the letter when we do not know the name of the person we are writing to. If we know their name, then we can use Dr., Mr., Miss before the name. We now come to the main part of the letter, that is the body of the letter. This section can typically be written in 2 or 3 paragraphs. In the initial paragraph or the introductory paragraph, we need to introduce ourselves and state the purpose of the letter. It is necessary that we use a language which is direct and we are able to, and we should see to it that we are able to immediately engage the reader. The next paragraph should be used to explain the message which we are sending. That is, whatever has been stated in the subject line needs to be explained in the main body of the letter. The last paragraph or the concluding paragraph will summarize the purpose of the letter and how we need to proceed. This can also include a call of action. So, what we need to do here is that you can end the letter by writing a sentence such as, I look forward to hearing from you, or please contact me at your earliest, at the earliest. Here we need to make sure that we are specific, formal, and to the point throughout the letter. Since it is a formal letter, we need to be businesslike in our approach. The language which we use should be quite formal in nature, and we should avoid using any kinds of slangs or jargon. You can generally end the letter with a sign off. Now, the closing can be uh, with terms such as yours sincerely or yours respectfully. You need to leave a space after this and then write, have your signature, and underneath that your name. Soon after your name, you can include your designation, your phone number, and email address as well. So the sign off comprises of a closing statement, um, your signature, your name, your designation, and your contact information. If there are certain other documents which you need to include along with the letter, you can add the word enclosure, and then underneath that you can name the other documents which you are attaching along with the letter. So this may be your resume or any other document which you are going to send along with the letter. Lastly, you need to proofread your letter. So it is very important that you check whether the letter is free from spelling and grammar mistakes. Also, you need to see to it that the letter will make sense to the recipient. It is preferable if you can read and reread the letter quite a few times so that you can look out for any kind of inconsistencies or improper formatting in the letter. Whenever you are writing a formal letter, there are several things which you need to keep in mind in order to maintain the quality of the letter. Let us now have a look at some of these points which you need to keep in mind. Be clear and concise. Whenever we are writing a formal letter, we need to be very clear about the purpose for which we are writing. And this purpose should be made evident right at the beginning of the letter. Also, it is necessary that we keep the letter short and to the point. Next, we need to proofread the letter. As I've already explained to you, checking the letter for spellings and grammar mistakes is very essential. Also, we need to read and reread and make sure that the letter makes sense. A letter which is free from errors will come across as more professional. We next need to keep in mind that we follow the right tone while writing the letter. That is, in a formal letter, we need to have a formal and professional tone. Generally, in an informal letter, we can have a casual approach or a casual tone, but while writing the formal letters, we need to be aware of whom we are writing the letter to, and we need to use a very respectful language. We need to use a very respectful language. We also should avoid using slangs. Most importantly, we need to use the right format while writing a formal letter. We should make sure that all the elements of the formal letter have been included, such as the sender's address and contact information, the salutation, the recipient's name and address, the signature. So we need to check and counter check all these, whether all these aspects have been included in the formal letter. So students, in today's video, we have discussed about how to write a formal letter. We have seen how a formal letter consists of various elements and the kind of language and tone which we need to maintain while writing a formal letter. Also, in a formal letter, proofreading is an important part so that we try to avoid as many mistakes as possible. You must now have got a fairly good idea about how to write a formal letter, and you must have understood the format of a formal letter. I hope you have liked this video. Thank you.